Okay guys, I had some interest in how I installed a pontoon boat door on the Doubletake Max6 Helix rear seat kit. It was actually pretty straightforward, but I'm gonna give you some pointers in case you want to use this idea. You won't waste any time. So the first thing you're gonna have to do is buy the door. Of course, I got it from pontoonfences.com or something like that. I'm gonna put the link in the description. And it's a 20-inch door. So from the factory, the space between here and here is about 21 inches, but I was unable to find a 21-inch door. They only had it in 20 and 22, but I actually kind of prefer that I had some wiggle room, and I'll show you that in a second how I space it out correctly. The next thing you're going to need is a 1-inch piece of square tubing, and I got this end cap off Amazon. This is stainless steel, but if you can find aluminum, I just had the stainless steel laying around, but if you can find an aluminum one, that might be better, considering that this and this are both aluminum. The door comes powder coated in silver, and then what other color insert you want. I spray painted mine to match my frame and all my accents that I painted as well. So I just didn't want plain black, but I'm sure it would look just as good in black as well. So on the website that I posted, they also have these latch kits, as well as the bottom latch. So you pick it up and then out like a regular pontoon door, because that's what it is, right? And then this stainless steel 18-inch hinge is also available on this website. I riveted mine in. As you see, I didn't go overkill and put rivets in all the holes, but I may eventually. It's very sturdy as it is. The only other issue you're going to have is that from the factory, the rear seat kit is not a uniform size from top to bottom. It was about 21.5-inch gap at the top, or 21.5-inch gap at the top, and like 22, I want to say, at the bottom. And as you can see, I got my gap pretty good, but there's still a little bit of room for improvement. But what you're gonna have to do is, under here, you're gonna have to add some washers in between the rail and frame. So it looks like I got 4 washers in between there. Same in the back on both sides. And you can see my wheelie rash there, but that's all right, it's worth it. So by putting these spacers in the bottom, you're moving the bottom of the door out a little bit, which is putting the top in a little bit. So I take back what I said earlier. It was wider up top than it was on bottom, and that's why I needed to do that. So it looks as if I took one washer out of each side, I might be able to get this gap perfectly uniform all the way up. So I might try that next. But just know that with that 1-inch bar spacer there, that you're gonna have a little bit of alignment issues that you're gonna need to fine-tune and figure out. As far as this bar here, before I riveted the hinge on, I mounted the bar to this, and I was able to use the factory bolts here. I actually switched them out with a little bit longer ones, but this is sandwiched all the way through. So what I did was I drilled a large hole in the outside of the bar, put the bolt inside, and then sandwiched it all together. So the bolt head is actually inside this pipe. So you drill a large hole on the outside, big enough to fit the bolt head through, and then tighten it in. It was Phillips head, so it's fairly easy. And then after it's all sandwiched together, then I drilled my holes and mounted my rivets. And just make sure that when you go to rivet the hinge on, you have it set in the down position where you're going to want it to be all the time. That way you have the play to lift up and pull out. This door latch came from the link I'm going to post as well. It's meant for going down into the deck of a boat. So I had to drill this hole and recess that screw a little bit. If you wanted to, you could do another bar across the bottom here just to make it even more stable and give this a lot of support. But it's very rigid. I did have to trim a little corner off of it where you can see it. where this starts to grade down on the curve, it wasn't sitting quite down far enough, so I had to trim that off. And the last part, which is what most of you are going to be most hesitant to do, is trim the rear seat. So as you know, when you fold down your rear seat, it's going to hug this rail on both sides. But now that there's a door here, that's not going to work out. So what you have to do is you have to trim your seat. So I trimmed it. I took the seat cushion off and then used a Sawzall. You could probably get a much cleaner cut with an angle grinder or something else, maybe a little reciprocal saw with a less aggressive blade on it. So it's not the greatest cut in the world, but also you're never going to see this really. You can't see it at all when the seat is in the down position, and when you flip this seat down, you don't see it at all because it's mostly covered, and it looks just fine. If you really wanted to buy a little plastic trim piece or something like that to cover it up, or if you just do a better job cutting it, it should look just fine. But overall, I'm super happy with this. I have two 2-year-olds, and they do ride in the back with their seatbelts on. But I just wanted to, like, if we're parked somewhere and they want to stand up, but I don't want them running away or running into traffic or something like that, I got this door for extra safety. And I think it looks pretty cool. And it's gonna go nicely with the red dot 84-inch roof I have coming, so it's gonna have that pontoon boat feel to it a little bit, kind of marine themed. And then I do put some stuff back here that doesn't fall out the back anymore. As long as you got like an egg crate or something that's not going to slide out one of these corners, you could use it for storage as well. So I hope this helps somebody out who's looking to put a door on their Doubletake Max6 Helix kit. If you have any more questions about my build, or if you have any trouble getting this door to work, like I said, link will be in the description, and I hope this helps somebody out. Thanks, guys.